focus, but he was right. He was right. He was dead on the money. And I needed to hear that time in my life. And we got home, and Alisa and I were kind of planning on going to Houston, but it was going to be the same thing. Like, she was going to transfer her job to Houston, and I was going to kind of do Primerica. And I pulled the for sale sign out of the yard, and I threw it down. She goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm not going to Houston with you unless we make a decision to build this business together and never have a boss again." And you know, my wife, she looked at me in my eyes, and she saw the commitment, and I looked at hers and saw the fear, but she said, "Okay." She said, "We'll do this." And you gotta understand, man, you gotta understand our story. I mean, I'd never made more than $20,000 a year at Primerica at that point. I was a regional leader. I didn't develop anything big or anything at that point. I wasn't one of these guys that took off like a speeding bullet. You know, and we were regional leaders. We drove our cars, right? My 1987 Toyota 4Runner and her 93 Corolla, our high school cars. We packed up everything we had. You know, in my truck I had all this stuff and a Bulldog. In her car she had everything, and my daughter Marissa, and we had walkie-talkies. And we traveled 1,800 miles, the first to go west of the Mississippi for the Team Unstoppable hierarchy. And we went on a dream. We went on a vision. And we ended up, you know, staying with Elisa's parents, Dana and Bill. And you know, I kind of felt a little shame to do that because I'd been on my own since I was 19, and here I was moving in with their daughter, right, and then their granddaughter and a Bulldog, right, and I was like, I gotta work, I gotta get this going. There was no off days. There was no days we didn't feel like prospecting. We got up every single day at 5 a.m. We prayed to the Lord, right, and we just knew we had to work, right. We got 37 personal recruits in the next 3 months, right. That first month we knew nobody. We got 13 directs because we had to. We put it on the line. We were going to sink or swim. We weren't going to sink. And you know, I look back on this now and I think about, if your Team Unstoppable in Texas, man, what if I would have been a weenie? What if I would have let these guys that said that I was a dreamer, what if I would have listened to them? There's not one person in white that'd be here right now. You know, because I met David and Jackson. They were going to go to St. Louis, you know, and it really hit me. You know, I was looking at the size of this team. I said, you know what? The little decisions you make can impact your whole entire life. And lives of thousands. How many death claims we've already paid out in Houston? How many people that you just count on us every day? You know, what if we would have weaned out? You know, I think about that and it scares me. And you know, through that struggle, we learned to grow. You know, we learned to be different leaders. That developed who we were. And you know, one of the things I realized is failure is not one single event. It's not one single event. Failure is the result of an accumulation of poor thinking and poor choices. Okay, people make poor choices because they don't think it matters. Let me give you an analogy. If you went to McDonald's, okay, and you got a Big Mac meal, and you went through there, and when you're done eating your Big Mac meal, you instantly gained 20 pounds. Would you ever go back to McDonald's? Would you freak out, right? You think something's wrong with you? But here's the thing, if you do that every single day, over a year, you will gain 20 pounds, right? Every daily decision you make in business, like prospecting 2 versus 10, like willing to read a book or not, doing KTs or not, recruiting or not, is exactly why you are where you are. Some of you wonder, why am I not an RVP? Because it's the decisions you made daily since you've been in this business. And the beautiful thing is you can change that, right? You repeat after me. If it's gonna be, it's up to me.
It's gonna be, it's up to me.
If it's gonna be, it's up to me.
It's gonna be, it's up to me.
See, if you want to be happy, you're gonna act like it now. You want to be a regional vice president, you're gonna act like it now. You're gonna act like a vice president way before you become one, way before you get your contract, right? You need to act it and you need to act as the person you wish to become. I'm gonna share with you a little story that I thought was amazing, and it exemplifies that. Another man who exemplifies being a master of his fate is Steven Spielberg, one of the all-time great motion picture directors. He dreamed of being a movie director from childhood. He began making amateur films with a primitive camera when he was still a child, and the dream never subsided. How Spielberg broke into Universal Studios is a legend in the movie industry. He took the Universal Studios tour, an attraction that enables visitors to get an inside look at the movie business. Visitors ride around the studio lots on a tram. Steven snuck off the tram and hid between 2 sound stages until the tour ended. When he left at the end of the day, he made a point of saying a few words to the gate guard. Day after day, he went back to the studio for 3 months. He walked past the guard, waved at him, and he waved back. He always wore a suit and carried a briefcase, letting the guard assume he was one of the students with a summer job in the studio. He made a point of speaking to and befriending directors, writers, and editors. He even found a vacant office, took it over, and listed his name on the building directory. That is an example of a person that wanted something in life bad enough that no matter what his credentials said, he went after it. And went on to make Jaws and all these record movies, E.T. and all that kind of stuff, right? See, why do we complain but remain the same? You ever think about that? See, we must own our lives. You can be the captain of your destiny, not the passenger with a ticket to nowhere. Think about that. Are you going to be the captain of your destiny, or are you just going to be a passenger with a ticket to nowhere? See, a man can fail many times, but he isn't a failure until he begins to blame somebody else. You have to double-digit recruit. You got to go full-time, and you got to never stop believing in your people. And if you do those things, nothing will stop you from winning.